Peace, y'all. I was kind of back and forth on whether I was gonna do this video or not, but I was just feeling the vibe. More so wanting to interact. That's why I was kind of waiting to see, how many people was gonna line up, in which I'm working on making sure schedule my videos way ahead of time so people could know what's really going on, what's up with it, But definitely feeling the vibe coming through strongly about speaking to the opening up the heart chakra. Matter of fact, today Friday dealing with that Venus energy, that Urzuli. Matter of fact, today Friday, in essence, named after Frigg. Frigg, one of the gods in Norse mythology, also connected to Freya. And again, Freya, connected to Ishtar, Nana, Urzuli, Venus. That whole energy of, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, love, creativity, feminine energy. Matter of fact, the Hierophant card, deals with that Taurus energy. Taurus ruled by Venus, but think about the little Caesar Borgia picture. The way up is through the heart. And right now it's just a important focus on us, releasing all fears. We have these little sneaky fears in certain little areas, and and that's what, in essence, stops us from becoming our greatest version is, having that fear there, preventing our spiritual growth. But right now, very important about, very important too, work on the heart chakra, which I'm gonna go through a few things dealing with the heart chakra. What's up, timekeeper? Osala, blessings. Matter of fact, any questions right now pertaining to, the energies of what's going on right now, feel free to ask. Since again, I'm churning up the energy. In fact, I'm out here in this cold air, as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? That cold air kind of make things frigid. I gotta get that fire burning, that spirit. You know, when you think about the fourth chakra, the fourth chakra. Is also symbolized as the Star of David as well. Well, matter of fact, all right. So we'll speak on certain aspects of the heart chakra, and then we'll speak on, how to help it. And matter of fact, which I'm not gonna speak, ask a person to ask a question and be like, go to this video. But just putting awareness out there that I do have a video on like connecting with the heart chakra. Let's look at how the heart chakra operates, when balanced and imbalanced. So when the heart chakra is balanced, we're in a compassionate state. We're dealing with the humanitarian energy. We're balanced in general. Because again, I showed that diagram of the body. And you got the higher nature, the lower nature. And you could also look at it as, the Lucifer, that aspect of being in the physical but dealing with the mind. What I'm saying? So Lucifer, the light bearer, being in that higher part, or Satan, that lower part, Satan or Saturn, dealing with more of a physical aspect. That sexual energies could create things on a physical level, aka sex, creating uh another being, or creating another bodysuit for a being to occupy, But that heart space is just that it's like that mediator, it's like that person in between, in that middle, and oh, wait, give me 1 second. And I recently just did a diagram, showing how to David, where you got uh, the two symbols, and which is a little different. Of course, I'm just giving you, one, because I can't remember for sure. But you got the elements. One of them has a line through it, but just say for the way the triangle faces, one represents water, one represents earth, one represents air and spirit, air and spirit, up, water and earth going down. And then if you just take, these two triangles and bring them together, in that balance, of course, you get that Don't laugh at my star, David. Just something quick. But you get that little star, and that's also the symbol for, again, for the heart chakra. Go to it right here. Blessings, y'all. See y'all rolling in, and I'm gonna get to everything. Where is it? Oh, that fourth chakra. Oh, there we go. Trying to find a little symbol. Kind of see it. Excuse my camera. But again, back to the energies of a balanced heart chakra. You're compassionate, humanitarian, balanced, sees the good in everyone, desires to nurture others, friendly and outgoing, active in the community. Discriminating, which I brought it up. That's very important. Not discriminating in the essence of egotistical discrimination, but more so discernment. Because if I love myself and I'm balancing my heart chakra, I'm gonna have discernment to not be overly nice and not just feed myself to the wolves. Like there's a difference in being balanced in Christ consciousness, but then being a complete idiot as far as like if somebody shows that they're trying to harm me and my family. Oh well, let me just be nice and maybe that'll change. That doesn't mean that. What I mean? Like again, that's why I say discernment or discriminate. I like to use the word discernment, like being able to discern on whether that energy is something that I should interact with or not interact with. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Being in touch with feelings, is another aspect of it. And then the empathetic, instinctively aware of joys and sorrows of others. Because matter of fact, when I speak on like a plasma implosion, our Taurus field, having a bliss experience and raising our Kundalini, but also deals with heart coherence. As a matter of fact, I got videos on heart coherence too. And that's actually like the scientific level of our heart beating and beating at at a healthy rhythm, and also producing a healthy magnetic field. You know what I'm saying? In essence, you know, because matter of fact, this is almost like the flower of life right here. But you could almost view that as looking at the top of a Taurus field. And the golden mean ratio allow for waves. Picture these are different waves. And matter of fact, that's what ley lines is about. Ley lines is about an area where the magnetic lines are imploding and crossing it, like it's where magnetic lines is crossing, and they're crossing and imploding in a non-destructive wave interference type of way, which meaning they interfere. The waves are interfering. Interference means coming crossing each other's path, but interfering in the constructive way and not a destructive way. You know what I'm saying? But it's only with that mathematical equation of the golden mean ratio. Now, is this ratio the end all be all for all universes and dimensions, all of the universe and all dimensions? Not necessarily. It's more so dealing with this physical plane of existence that we're in right now. There's multiple planes of existence with different, realities to what geometrical equation, shapes, life in that realm. But again, that plasma implosion. So you go the whole thing with the Taurus field. And again, the healthy heart coherence, or that heart, the heart's Taurus field, imploding, in a healthy manner, in that golden mean spiral ratio. Matter of fact, oh yeah, that's why I speak in because too, Dan Winters was talking about like with the Montauk experiments, and matter of fact, and also with the Philadelphia experiment. But basically, like, because matter of fact, this is also what Dune is about. Dune, about the spice, and when you take the spice, you're able to interdimensionally travel without actually physically going anywhere. Which hint, hint, wink, wink. That's how we, would travel in these times. Because evidently, if somebody went to the moon in the 70s when technology wasn't all that, looked like if that was the real thing, if I was trying to prove to the masses that, hey, we did that, I would do it again. You know what I'm saying? With these, especially now that we got cell phones and all this type of technology, look like it would be even way more easier to do than it was back in the 70s. But That's just, again, me just using my logical reasoning of looking how technology advances over time, and it, it allows for us to do more, so look like that would help on that level. And apologies for taking so long to answer this question. Matter of fact, let me get straight to it. So after I just spoke of, what the balanced heart chakra consists of, uh, based green, like just wearing the color green resonates with our heart chakra, you know, uh, embodying that Christ consciousness, basically that empathetic level of doing to others as I want done to myself, and but again with that discernment that it's not just like, oh, let me be overly nice because like, nah, because again, even scripture, what people don't recognize or pay attention to, like even the fake like even in the story of them trying to make Jesus a historical figure, even within that story, Jesus went into the church, like hint hint wink wink, Jesus went into the church flipping the tables and shit like that, like bruh, like this some bullshit, like why y'all just sitting here letting this you know what I'm saying, like that's the Christ energy, not like, oh, I'm only sound peaceful and be peaceful to everybody. Like, that's not that's not the heart chakra energy being strong as a mother bear or a mama lion tearing some ass in nature to make sure that nothing gets to a cub, you know. That's the unconditional love, That's the vibe. But again, dealing with the colors of green, rose, working with a rose quartz, green aventurine, watermelon tourmaline is great, but that's pretty rare. But you know, moldavite is a good one with grounding energy. But rose quartz is something that just really, really comes to mind. When speak of balancing that heart chakra out. And right quick to speak on excessive energies of the heart chakra. So when we're in a demanding vibration, overcritical, tense between the shoulders and tense in between the shoulder blades, excuse me, possessive, moody, melodramatic, manic depressive, which is kind of like a little bipolar, like all the way over here and all the way over here. Again, basically like imbalance, but uses money to control people, has that attitude of a martyr. I've made so many sacrifices for you, that's that excessive heart chakra energy, you know. Again, that Christ energy in a dysfunctional way, like I'm a martyr, I made so many sacrifices for you. You should give thanks to me. Like that type of mind frame in essence. Now, with deficient heart chakra, meaning it's spinning slower or, not spinning as fast, you feel sorry for oneself, so feeling sorry for yourself, uh, paranoid, indecisive, afraid of letting go, being free, getting hurt, family members getting hurt, are being abandoned. So it's afraid of letting go, afraid of being free, afraid of getting hurt, afraid of family members getting hurt, and afraid of abandoned. Because matter of fact, I'm actually doing some healing in some of those areas myself. More so with the family members getting hurt. And relearning that vibe of really, really, genuinely letting go. Because that you could tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm letting go, I'm going with the flow, but your subconscious on to some, past moment or trying to anxious about the future, it's like, nah, they ain't necessarily letting go. Like you gotta really be in your now, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's what else helps with the heart chakra too. Being in the moment, not being all the way in the past, not being too far in the future, like the all right. My bad, I just had a reconnecting vibe. But you see that heart chakra, that balance in between the two realms, again, you know, uh the balance between, the water and earth element and the fire and air, You know, it's the balance between the masculine and feminine. You know, again, balance between higher and lower nature. You know, we get into a place of balance, because another thing too, you know, and sometimes we tend to forget, because we do our inner work, and just come from a area, being over masculinity and everything, so much about action, you know that and two, when we're dealing with action, a lot of times action deals with the external world. But remember, this is an inner battle. We trying to get you know the Christ energy. We're trying to get the Satan and the Christ, or should I say that Horus and Set energy. We're trying to get it to balance. We're trying to get it to be at one, to be at peace, and that's through that balance of the heart chakra. We're not trying to constantly have a inner battle going on within us, because if there's an inner battle going on within us, then there's one that continuously projects externally. And of course, we take physical action to help do things in this realm, to help raise the vibration. But it's more so, again, about the inner work. Because, say, for instance, our subconscious mind projects into the physical realm. Basically, it makes our physical realm, 99.9% of, what we do, say, and what we experience in our realm, of existence, has to do with our subconscious programming. We want to get the subconscious programming in a balanced place, where we understand that Lucifer, Satan, and Christ and God, like all these different names and things, is energies that exist within me, and me balancing out these energies within myself. You know what I'm saying? And when that's being said, that's not saying turn the other cheek to external things, but it's a fact that you have to do the inner work. Like, the inner work, what's going on internally projects externally, you know what I'm saying? So it's creating that marriage of those energies within ourselves, again, being fearless too right now is one of the main things I'm being told to speak on too. Blessings, y'all. Bethany. What's up? What's up? Old Star Solutions, appreciate that super chat. Alex Brown, blessings. Lucid Blah, blessings. Yep, we the technology. Yep, Unikite. I've been working with Unikite. Matter of fact, the Epidote from Unikite, good heart chakra. Matter of fact, I've been working with that green opal. Unikite. What else? I've been working with jade and bloodstone. Bloodstone is a great crystal to work with right now, and for sure that malachite, because that malachite with that copper energy and that divine feminine energy, man, it's definitely creating a good connection. Again, that's why I said that I did that video about malachite transforming. Because in these times, malachite was going to be very important to our spiritual growth and journey. Helping with that evolution. We're going to put these cards up. Matter of fact, dealing with, if y'all haven't seen my video about sympathetic magic, but today Friday, so working with the cards of Friday, the Empress, with that Venus energy, and then the Taurus card, which Taurus deals with Venus. That's why Taurus people, they love to eat. They real into the earthly plane. They like eating their foods, traveling and enjoying. I say traveling like in the sense of like trying to go here or there, but more so like just enjoying life, enjoying this physical realm. That Venus energy. In essence, enjoying life, taking care of yourself, pampering yourself. But also like with visualizations, again, with helping with chakras, you could visualize, to whatever degree of how you view, how you would view the Christ energy, however you would view that, and however you would view the devil or Satan energy. Like, and picture those two beings like lying standing at the heart chakra with the green light in the background, and they coming standing towards each other and shaking each other's hand and giving each other a hug. You know what I'm saying? It's things as simple as that. And I say simple, but you know, because another thing too, we get into a place of simplifying things, you know, more like, you know, getting more into that space of live and let God, you know, because again, we'll get into this egotistical place of I gotta make this happen, I gotta take this action, you know. Of course, we don't want to just be sitting ducks and sitting around just like, oh, I'm just floating in the divine feminine. I'm just floating in the divine. You know what I'm saying? We're not just trying to be floating around, but again, we are embracing the divine feminine energy a little more than the past. So it will be less action, and when action is needed, it will be inspired by spirit and not motivated due to external situations. You know what I'm saying? It would be, you know, internal motivation, you know, in spirit, you know. But again, the way up is through the heart, you know, definitely, you know, dealing with that Venus energy, that Urzuli, you know, Oshun, Freya, you know, Frigg, Anana, 'cause what was her name in the again Lil story? Ankin and Lil's sister, because Anki and then Lil's sister, Ananasag. I forgot the name. Will it come across right now? And matter of fact, while I'm speaking about this, go check out my video I did, you know, speaking on that Friday energy, Friday and Venus energy, you know, because that's going to be something that you're going to be hearing about a lot in these times. Because again, you know, Venus was also known as the morning star, you know. So, you know, you got Venus known as the morning star, you got Lucifer known as the morning star, and also the, you know, the Christ, you know, known as the morning star. You know, all morning stars, you know. Matter of fact, yeah, the whole situation with you know, Marduk. Matter of fact, and I heard somebody else bring up this story in another context, but you know, because matter of fact, it's so say Isis or Ishtar. You know, Isis is first, and you know, because Isis come from the Kemetic, you know, pantheon. So you know, even though the Anunnaki story is told from the later, you know, Mesopotamian view of things, you know, it you know, again, you know, the Kemetic names and you know, that pantheon existed before the Mesopotamian one. You know, you got Mesopotamia, then, you know, which the Sumer or Sumerian tablets, you know, like, because Anana was what it, you know, the Venus energy in a Babylonian way, and then later, not Anana, but then Ishtar later in another, you know, in the summer vibes, Sumerian vibes, you know. But ooh, Unikite skull, that's definitely nice right there. Definitely. All right, Taurus moon, spirit goddess. Oh yeah, deep down, emotionally enjoying life. You know, enjoying the beautiful things. Leah Bird, what's up? Blessings. Thomas Grant, blessings. Yeah, because matter of fact, because I want to say, don't quote me. I'm about to say with Marduk being the nah, I ain't even gonna try to do it. I'm gonna let that be in another video. You know, matter of fact, be juggling, you know, all this little information paralleling each other. A lot of times I be, you know, delivering it on the go. Matter of fact, before, just a reminder before switching to any other subjects, again, you know, going through that portal of the heart. Because matter of fact, even down to, you know, when we talk about, you know, even when Dan Winter speak about it, or just anybody talk about it, either talk about, you know, leaving out of the Saturn Moon matrix, or they talk about leaving out of the heart of the sun, you know, leaving out of the, you know, the first sun, in essence, or that black sun, the fifth sun that we see is a physical representation of, you know, matter of fact, almost like the Da'at spear in the tree of knowledge, you know, because you got the tree of life and then you got the tree of knowledge of good and evil that that actually has, you know, the Da'at, which the Da'at sphere or Sephiroth is also personified by Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies as well. But you Again, that heart chakra, also compare, the Star of David, and you think about the Star of David, and you think about the Lion of the tribe of Judah, or Jehudi. Jehudi is the older name for Tot, but the Lion of the tribe of Judah, dealing with Israel, and that again that Star of Jehudi, really, not necessarily David, because again these English names, you know. Couldn't even exist in a time when people wasn't even speaking English in the first place too. That's another thing to always remember. But again, back to, so with the Leo constellation, also dealing with the heart chakra, and dealing with that sun energy. So you see that correlation right there as well, with the, again, that the six-pointed star connecting to the heart chakra, also connecting to, the vibe of, the Rastafari's, connecting, the ancient Kemetic and Kush people, connecting with that star. But again, sacred geometry, just also a personification of, balancing out our energies, and not only a personification of balancing out our energies, a personification of, connecting with that Christ consciousness strongly. If I didn't say, I think I might be repeating it, but a personification of, again, balancing out the energies of the body. And the way to ascend is to balance out these energies and not have these energies combating against themselves. Because it's almost like we don't pass the test. You know what I'm saying? If you don't realize that these energies are all you, and you don't learn how to stop from combating, fighting within yourself, then you gotta come back to school. That's what the name of the game is. You know what I'm saying? As above, so below. When you don't get the lesson, you gotta go back to that grade and learn. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we going over this lesson, right? This is like, it's like a little lesson review, you know what I'm saying? So, when we transition, we could pass this test. Because if you transition, if you ain't did your study, because again, after you transition out of the body, you can't go back like, wait, hold on, let me look at that information one more time. Like, nah, it's done now. You got to deal with wherever your subconscious is going to take you, from that moment on. So again, you see, in that portal, the weight of ascension through the heart. And again, fear is a heavy vibration, Fear, literally, matter of fact, check out the, in fact, since I got the book right here, you know, uh, finally got one. The Message from Water. Masaru. Finally got his first name. Masaru. Masaru Emoto. But the doctor who talked about, like how I, words, words, word vibrations, and just the are like written words on, on the water, on a glass of water, affects that water's energy. You know what I'm saying? So, that vibration of fear, again, we 70% water. So if we dealing with a vibration of fear, that vibration is affecting our internal waters, causing the water inside ourselves to pick up on that fear and to hold that fear. So, we definitely want to be, releasing, all fears. Of course, you have like a logical level of caution, like, it doesn't mean I'm fearful just because I know better than to go turn on the stove and put my hand on it and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fear to know better than to do something like that, you know what I'm saying? But fear is like holding yourself back because of, or just being scared of a situation, false evidence appearing real, in most cases, scared of a situation that's not even right there in your face. Matter of fact, that's why, there's so much anxiety when, going too far in the future, because, you focus on on a realm that don't exist, excuse me, that don't exist in that moment. And the reason why you're anxious, because your subconsciously you focusing on the situation, so it's viewing it as that's your now, And so the reason why anxiety is coming up is like, oh shit, right now we dealing with this, and and I look, and then truly we not really dealing with this, so like I can't do nothing to fix it because in the all actuality of my now, this really don't exist right now. So it's making me even more anxious, and nervous because I'm focused on something that I'm not able to fix. But again, and I if you type in universal frequencies and fear, that'll probably bring you to my videos that I speak on, helping to release fear. Because I got one good video, an older video when I first started, speaking on releasing fear. Because matter of fact, like anything that you feel that you are scared of, like it crossing those boundaries, like if I feel like I'm scared to learn, like anything, because a fear could be little small thing that you don't even think you're fearing in essence, or like you're holding yourself back from. But I think about like if my ego fear the vibe of, oh I don't, because I got, say for instance, my ego get to a place of like being prideful about information and fearing that, like kind of fearing learning from somebody, in essence. So like fuck that, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna learn from somebody, Like matter of fact, I spoke about that the other night, a while back when I went tuned into one of Flight Boss videos, and even asked for a reading too. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure I'm not being too rigid, and fearful of of like learning, getting in that area with nobody, and you never really realize it, but you're kind of sad because you're keeping yourself to yourself. It's like break out of that fear. There's some type of function or something you could do, where you could get out and be get out and about, and not be subject to all kind of, again, because that be yourself with your own fear, like, oh man, people gonna suck up my energy, this and that. Well, if you sit in this little vibe and constantly focus on, that fear of going out and that people gonna do me something when I go out, then yeah, that's what your experience is gonna be when you step out. It is something to be feared because you're constantly looking at it as a situation to be feared. So, stepping out, expanding the comfort zone, out of that comfort zone, most cases we're comfortable with things because our, indirectly our or well, say indirectly because we don't really realize it, but our egoic mind found a way to make us complacent, and comfortable in a certain situation that stops us from, truly expanding, kind of making us indirectly fearful of a certain situation that may stop the expansion, So, pressing the little areas of, the places you may fear, quote unquote, Cameron English. Oh, it just mean, matter of fact, the help is here, like the great old ones, matter of fact, Shub Nigger Rat. Shub Nigger Rat is back. From the great old ones of H.P. Lovecraft, Necronomicon, Matter of fact, if you look up Universal Frequencies, H.P. Lovecraft, or Universal Frequencies, Necronomicon, I have videos speaking on that too. But the great old ones, basically the ancient primordial God energies that that we come from in essence, or that we are, more so. We kind of like a little drop of it within the human body, but we are that energy. And right now, like matter of fact, from countless correlations of just like things pointing to the reptilians and the Kundalini energy, but like it's a personification of like the Nagas that's here to help, like like how you could have a healthy Kundalini raising or a Kundalini raising that may not be healthy and kind of like may be harmful. I see that as maybe like the harmful, the harmful reptilians, the harmful draconian lineage, like the ones who are more malicious compared to the ones that are more divine, in the way of being. But I'm getting flooded by that reptilian vibe down to the point where I was listening to shout out to Illuminati Congo. If y'all not following that Bridget on Instagram or checking out his music, y'all definitely should check out his music and his Instagram page. But Illuminati Congo, uh, I came across one of his albums and I'm jamming, and then all of a sudden, the Bridget Credo Mutwa. I brought up Credo Mutwa, the Bridget from Africa, from the Zulu tribe. That matter of fact, back in the day, that David Icke was talking to in his earlier stages, and talking about that reptilian energy. But I've been listening to videos with the Credo Mutwa brethren, and then this Illuminati Congo some like album has snippets of him talking, from those actual things I got saved on my phone. So I'm like, damn, the energy coming through heavy. And then I also so I got this affirmation I like to share with y'all too, cause I got a book by Lon Milo Duquette, dipping into the Enochian magic. If you're not familiar with the Enochian, matter of fact, like the Book of Enoch, those angels. Matter of fact, they put the Book of Enoch in the Bible because they felt like it was gonna, throw off their little lies about Jesus. But I came across, now I reworded this, but it's like a certain little affirmation, but it stems from something I seen at John D. Again, John D. that worked with the John D. in the 1500s. One of the most popular people, known for his extensive library, this and that. But long story short, it had an affirmation that he would use before he would connect with those angelic beings. He had an affirmation about connecting with the truth. But I want to share the one that I created, but it stems from that. But I just made it my own. But basically, I am creator of all things. I am divine knowledge and understanding. I am unconditionally in alignment with the divine wisdom of all that is. My heart is filled with source knowledge, wisdom, and truth. I repeat that again. I am creator of all things. I am divine knowledge and understanding. I am unconditionally in alignment with the divine wisdom of all that is. My heart is filled with source knowledge, wisdom, and truth. And matter of fact, since we speak in the fear, Source just hit me with that while I said that. If some of y'all scared, like again, clearing fear, you should not fear saying, I am the creator of all things. If you still fearing saying stuff like that and still fearing, saying that you are God, you still programmed by the Catholic religion or just the religious approach to looking at God as some sky daddy, that's gonna punish you, Like you are the sky daddy, you are the sky mama. You the sky mama and daddy. Matter of fact, that's what the heart chakra about. It's about balancing the sky mama and sky daddy within you. And not no external sky mama and sky daddy. But definitely feel free, to use that information, and what that information does is invoke the energy of you coming across truth within your path, and within your growth, as you're seeking, truth and divine knowledge, that will help. Because ever since I started saying that affirmation, the synchronicity with information has just been next level, So definitely gotta, want to share that with y'all. But and again, like, I felt the vibe. Like even again, some people still fearing saying that I am God. Like that's something that some people still fear. Again, and that's why you see the importance of the spiritual work. Like it's been years and years of programming, programming the subconscious that people been putting on us that been hindering our soul growth. So it's gonna take, more than just 1 year of working on spirit. Like it takes from this moment on, to constantly be working in that direction of raising this energy up right now. It's not just one little moment of it. It's a little more than that. But again, and I guess that's what my tangent started. Today was a heavy day energetically. What does this mean? DNA activation, the ancestors is coming through to help. Matter of fact, I haven't checked it out yet because I don't like to. I want to make sure I don't be borrowing like stories in essence fully, but of course I use people's stories in reference. But Mark Passil got a story about, it's called galactical abandonment or universal abandonment, but it's about like basically the same tapping into his how I say interpretation of the Incan and Lil story, and that reptilian story. But speaking to again like how we were a band, like that's why too, a lot of the energies we're working through aren't just human shit. Like, we talk about like working out karma, like what I did when I was, you know, a little knucklehead whenever I was a teenager or this and that. But we all are also working out energy from past lives and collective star family energy, what I'm saying? Not just uh no energy, how can I say, it's star family energy and not just energy on a human level, what I'm saying? Again, those ancestors are connecting right now, the Lyrians, the reptilians who are benevolent, what I'm saying? And the Lemurian and Atlantis ancestors, all the different star families, they basically online right now letting us know that, we have support to be strong in our convictions, in our spiritual growth, to be more fearless, to step more into that heart chakra, more into that heart space, that's what, energy is dealing with. And y'all, it's getting a little cold out here. My hand's about to fall off, so I'm assuming about to go. In essence, because I realized Vedic astrology, use a lot of different, aspects, more than just the planets, like a bunch of different star systems. Because again, that does all have an effect on us, at the end of the day. But oh yeah, man, that's the brethren. Talk about flight boss, yeah. Caucasians question mark Kurdish people. I don't know what Kurdish people is. You know, Asian. You got the Caucasus Mountains. So basically like the Asians from the Caucasus Mountains in essence. As far as terminology, because even with that vibe too, like again, this raising of energy, it definitely has something to do with melanin and carbon. It would be a lie to be in denial of that, but it would also be a lie to make it seem like it's just about that, and that only those with visible skin melanin is those who are ascending. Because again, it's more than just that. Matter of fact, a lot of European or non-melanated people, or people you can't really see it on the physical level, you know, uh, are working in this lifetime. Because matter of fact, like say for instance, like well, they might have had past lives, like basically working their way up into this moment. Like, at one time they might have been, the wife of a owner, a slave master, and didn't really agree with it, kind of participated a little bit, but didn't really agree with it. And then the next lifetime, they became somebody that was probably a activist and this and that, and then another, you know what I'm saying? But constantly getting to a place where now in this lifetime, they realize like, hey, regardless of what the rest of our European uh, relatives try to brainwash the world to believe, like, these melanated people are connected with that, that great old one energy, that energy of source, on an indigenous level, being around, connecting with that energy again, as above, so below, the primordial, Taurus field, the primordial mother energy is kind of like that eldest energy, of the universe in essence, that primordial feminine energy. So as above, so below. It manifests on the physical realm as beings who are quote unquote black. What I'm saying? That's the extension of that primordial mother-like energy. What I'm saying? Just on the physical level. Again, this is all that's happening. It's just we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. You see in the story of the cosmos being played out in human beings, basically. What I'm saying? And how I talked about earlier in my video, how Hollywood or like media, like a TMZ or something. Like basically, TMZ is almost like astrology, like having an astrology reading, because they following the stars. Oh, this star did this today. This star was found over here on Wednesday. This star was at Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Like indirectly, you know what I'm saying? Like the same thing though, and not indirectly, it's literally the same thing. It's just again our minds have to catch up with the fact that that's, the real situation. But yeah, the reason why you don't get verification from yourself is because you're looking too external. Because say for instance, for myself, like whenever I'm too overworky and too in my thoughts a little bit, I get to slip in that realm. Then the messages have to end up being confirmed a lot of times through an external situation, whether it be a video by somebody or somebody walking up to me and saying something, talking about something, where it gives me that like, oh shit, that confirms shit that my higher self been telling me, but I just allow my ego to allow for me to ignore it. That's just that again, stepping into a place where we trust our inner source. Because another thing we dealing with, because that has to do with fear. You know, fearing fearing that our higher self won't take care of us. Because that's basically when we not trusting the universe, when we not trusting the process. It's like, hey, almighty universe that's capable of all that is and that is all that is, I don't trust that you could do all that is and you are all that is. So I'm going to be fearful in this moment and not trust my inner magic. So the universe is like, hey, since it's a free will universe, you have the right to disown your power. So we'll gladly take them away, you know, in this moment, since you're so fearful and since you don't trust in your own power that you cried to have, that you want so badly, but yet give up so easily. That's the whole vibe with that. So just getting to a place where we just being able to, hear that inner guidance and listen to that inner guidance without letting that egoic mind noise, step in the way of it. Y'all, I'm using my best ability to ignore this iciness in my hand, but I gotta go, y'all. I mean, you're doing it already, just lucid blah. I mean, with you just being on dealing with this video, just constantly learning and growing and learning about, and like, all right, how do I teach? Learn about teaching. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, that you could do, that you feel inspired, you know, uh, but let your curiosity be like your gas, like your fuel to tap into all this different information, and I feeling like it's just one answer, that is one person could answer that question. And that's not saying that that's what you're saying or doing, with what you're asking. But again, you know, you start taking action by, actually, emptying. So first off, you do have to empty out your cup. Cause say for instance, our cup be full of all kind of BS or belief systems or bullshit that we've been subconsciously programmed previously with. So it's emptying out our cup. You know, uh, you know, being open minded and not just being locked in on certain information, you know, being fluent with the way we learn an information. How do you personally in your head or in the cloud? You know, how do you personality balance being in your head or in the cloud? I don't. I think you're trying to ask how do you have your head in the cloud? Like, you know, you don't. I mean, if your head in the cloud, you're not here on Earth. You know, point blank. Period. You know, it's a way for us to be interconnected and know, you know, doing our works, you know, meditate and stuff like that. But we don't constantly have to have our head in the clouds in order to connect with higher self, you know. And again, that's something that I'm constantly working on and learning, you know, again, to, you know, be present in this physical realm, you know, again, loving your physical body, loving the physical presence. You know, in most cases, if we're not loving the physical realm on the essence, and I say loving it like, you know, like I love the Matrix on that level, but you know, like if you're not enjoying, you know, being here in your body, you know, that's root chakra work. You know, it's an imbalance in the root chakra that, you know, always want to, oh, I want to leave here. I don't want to be here. And two, it's also, again, not trusting the universe. You know, we all done forgot, you know, a lot of us forgot our, the fullness of our purpose of being here, but you asked to be here. So it's like a, you know, it's like a slap in the face to a certain extent too. So that's why in a lot of cases, life will be in kind of like all dysfunctional when you try to have like just the head in the clouds approach, or just, you know, it's like, well, no, you asked for the physical body for a reason, you know. So you know you got to do things, you know, deal with things that in essence connect with you being in your physical body. You know? Personally. Eat the man. Yeah. I mean, personally, how do you personally balance being in your head? All right. Yeah, that I still kind of, you know, again, of course you want to, but that's the thing, being present in our now. Whenever we're in our thoughts, that because we're not taking action and doing things we love. You know, think about when you're doing what you love, how you're not thinking about shit. You know, like when you're doing what you love, you're not like constantly. Oh, look like my thing is zoomed in. If you doing what you love, you're not constantly thinking about uh, what happened 10 years ago or in the past life or this. Of course, it may cross the mind, but you're not constantly thinking about it. You know, you're not constantly being anxious about your future when you loving your moment so much right now. Why would you be trying to be anxious for the future? You know. So again, it's also back to not being in the moment. You know, if you're not doing what it is to it, you know, doing your best to enjoy your moment, doing taking the steps necessary. If you at a job you don't like, or the life, or you at an apartment you don't want to be at, this and that, then now accept what is, because what is that you are in that place that you don't want to be in. So you have to accept that first and foremost, and then from that moment, you know, constantly make steps in the direction of doing what you really want to do and doing what you really do love. You know what I'm saying? Like taking yourself into a now that's pleasurable. You know, that's what the my again, a lot of times wanting to be in the thoughts is not wanting to be in your now. You know, and in a lot of cases too, with a lot of damage from the new age spiritual vibes of, like, you know, making it seem like this is all going to be peachy and this and that. So, you know, it's also people feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be going through this. Like, well, no, you should be, because the universe is making you go through all of deep fears, you know, that shadow work. If you haven't done real shadow work, you know, which is facing those fears, going in, to the, the internal universe, and shining that conscious light on those little shadow areas, because in case, our shadow area, in essence, is, you know first created to a certain extent, with our earliest stages of growth in our physical body. When the parents and society go to say, hey, this is good, this is bad, or you see, I don't want you to do that right here, but this is cool. And then as you're going through life, and then you're not realizing, like, hey, none of this is necessarily bad or good, just experiences. you know uh in the essence, well, of course, bumping my knee may not feel pleasurable, but it's not, something to be like, oh, that's a bad, you know what? No, because bumping my knee allowed for me to learn that, hey, I shouldn't walk without paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So I learned something from that. So why would I consider a learning situation as something bad? Again, there's no bad and good to that level of dealing with our spiritual growth. You know, but again, it's that good, bad, right or wrong creates that desirable behavior, undesirable behavior, and then we create this shadow self of things that, oh, I had sex at an early age, and even though that's normal to be in a human body and things like that, I'm gonna kind of hide this little feeling way deep in the darkness of the realms of my mind and my psyche, because mom would think that I'm a hoe because I had sex, my dad, think I'm this and that, what I'm saying? Again, that's where all that get created, that, where we running from those vibes in that sense. Yeah, those things, substances help, but I keep it real. If you cannot be in the now without a substance, then that's the whole point of you going, a whole reason why you're gonna end up having to come back to this motherfucker. Because you haven't gotten your place to a point of realizing, hey, you are the crystal, hey, you are the technology, hey, you have the ability, to meditate and reach these DMT realm, these realms that DMT allows for. Because I mean, a yogic breath, breathing in a proper pranic yogic breathing, secretes DMT. That's why I catch like them little tremors whenever I do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that DMT being released. So we don't want to deal with too many external, substances or situations to be in the now. Because again, at this point, you might. I don't. I'm not meaning this in derogatory, man. But you might as well shoot yourself at this point if you still, what I'm saying, like feel like the only way, you know. Now it's all right for us to enjoy, like, hey, I enjoy mushrooms. Let me, I enjoy the experience from mushrooms, or I enjoy the experience from, MDMA or these situations. But again, not getting too caught up and lost in it, because and it's a balance. You have to realize again that you're a guide on the human experience, and when you're using it, you're not using it in a sense of thinking like, oh yeah, this is gonna give me, this substance is gonna take me to the next level, or which it does help, but just not looking at those substances as like, oh, I have to, or this is a need in order for me to get to this. It's like, nah, then you're hindering yourself. And that's what's happening to you, Alex Brown. The universe is showing you how much you being in your thoughts is hindering your spiritual growth and your experience. So, it's showing you that, hey, you may be. So the universe is trying to tell you, you might want to take meditation a little more seriously, because if your thoughts is plaguing you that much, then you're not taking meditation seriously enough, you know, or dealing with it, at all. Not that I mean, I couldn't really be, I wouldn't be able to say, if dreads help my feeling of intuition. Well, I can say that really, no, I can't say, because I've been extremely intuitive as a little kid before I had dreads, you know what I'm saying? So, You know, did the dreadlocks make me intuitive? I don't know. I don't think so. That's another thing, like with the tool and stuff. Like, of course they are antennas. Of course they are, helpful in receiving, energy on an informational level. Eh, on the level of catching those downloads. Picking up that etheric energy, but you know, it's not the reason behind, the spiritual energy in that sense. Oh yeah, yeah. Just speaking on it, just speaking on it. I do my best to not try to like when I see certain things presented a certain way, that's why I hurry up and be like, hey, and I didn't mean that you were actually meaning that when you said it, but I just know how people talk and say things in that same type of manner. And, it just be wanting to clear that up. Again, kudos to you not being in your ego and realizing that, that I wasn't trying to tear you down. For real. And again, ain't nothing wrong with liking things on this realm, but it's like liking it in the sense of this shit ain't nothing but like as you chewing on that Snickers, like this Snickers ain't nothing but a combination of ones and zeros. Constantly falling in this matrix. Like, these ones and zeros taste good. You know what I'm saying? Like, just realizing, what's really going on. But y'all, my hands are freezing. You know, if I haven't answered a question, you know, uh, dip through the universal frequencies archive. Still dealing with playlists, but still some playlists there that can help. Direct straight to the subject matter you're looking at. But I done did enough of mentally blocking this out. know, uh, but but just right quick, can you talk about, letting go? It's about, again, realizing your intuition is always with you, and that your mental, your egoic mind, you know, or that mind that always say this, like I'm better, or this is better, or that egoic mind is like looking for I'm right and that person wrong, or this is wrong and that person right. It's looking for some type of little separation. And of course it's healthy to have enough of ego to know that when I get hungry, instead of putting the spoon in somebody else's mouth, I put the spoon to this bodysuit. I gotta identify with my bodysuit that much. But again, your egoic mind, egoic mind knowledge, in most cases, is what plague people from being in there now. You know what I'm saying? That's why one of the most, things that was popular, like that resonated with me early in the game, was that book, by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, because I realized how much, you know, getting away from your egoic mind noise and being in the moment. Like the moment is where the magic is, where the synchronicity and all that, like it's in the moment. It's your mind noise that's stopping you from being in the moment, or it's the fact that, you're fearful of being, your greatest version in some way, form, or fashion. So you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing to be enjoying your moment. You know what I'm saying? But it's about, being in the moment. That's what spiritually liberates. One of the things that strongly spiritually liberates you and opens you up into those higher realms is being in the moment, being in the now, and I think I got a playlist called "Now Is the Vibrate." I'm not sure, but speaking about being in the moment, but like some of my best manifestations happen like, well, say for instance, of course, I wanted some money to manifest, but it didn't come when I was sitting there worrying about it. It came, wasn't even fucking thinking about it. My money would roll whenever I'm at the beach, playing, laying down, listening to music, or letting the waves, playing with the waves, and connecting with spirit and just fully enjoying my moment. That's why I'm like, like, all right, got to get back today. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm realizing how much I'm not really enjoying my moment being in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more so, uh, again, a little heart chakra imbalance of being afraid to of like losing a connection with family. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, forget that. Like, you got some energy to take care of. And matter of fact, with you working on yourself, they're gonna be there even more after you finish, doing what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But uh and I don't recall. Oh yeah, just back to being in the moment. Making your now enjoyable, making your now something that you know, enjoy living out. You know what I'm saying? And again, of course, you're gonna pop up to past trauma or trying to look for past moments. Man, I remember when we used to do this, or I remember when we used to do that. Oh man, I can't wait till I get paid tomorrow. Or I can't. Instead of enjoying your moment right now, like find some way to enjoy like what is. Like, all right, the check just not in just yet. What can I do right now to enjoy myself without my paycheck? There's something, and if you cannot find something, you know what I'm saying. And again, there's way more work to do if you can't, sit with yourself at this point, and again, find some pleasure in just being with yourself. But again, now is the vibrate. It's not just the intro to my video. It's a real essence that we should embody. Like matter of fact, I've been having to catch myself because my ego been sneakily hiding in me getting information. So like I've been having to back off of like when I'm walking. So say for instance, sometimes when I'm walking, I'll be listening to lectures, stuff like that. But indirectly, my ego find a little sneaky way to use the information that's being talked about in the video to slide into some past shit and not catch it and be like, man, right now. And whenever I catch myself, I always ask myself what I'm doing right now. Like what am I doing? I'm doing a video, which not the video, but like looking at my tarot cards. I'm sitting here staring off into the, but just call out what I'm doing in this moment, and then like, all right, and if I'm not loving the moment, or if it's not pleasurable, then let's do something that is pleasurable in this moment. And it's an ebb and flow tide growth, and some of us haven't fully went through the dark night of the soul. So again, reason why things ain't always seeming so peachy because there's still some lessons to be learned. That the universe is like bringing these things in your vortex, so you could question like, oh, fuck this come, because again, it's all an internal thing. You dealing with energies from your external universe. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't stand uh people who uh who confident in what they do, you know what I'm saying? That's more so because I'm not, like, or more so telling the story of why I'm not confident. So say for like if I'm a person that's not confident, it's probably because I don't, uh, I see the energy of being confident is something bad. Like, oh, that confident person is cocky. Look at them being cocky. So, that's what's going on in your subconscious. So that's why you're not confident, or are you, you know, frown upon confidence because again you take this standpoint of it being something bad. So here it is, you not being confident in who you are because of that hindering outlook. All right, this time I gotta go for real. My hands. Uh, I'm trying to. Oh, look at that. The eye. If it blink, I blank on y'all. But I'm trying to get this. So how to get rid of old defense used against trauma if you've been working. You typed it. Could you retype or re-elaborate right quick, Miss Cassandra, before I go? I'm gonna give it a try before I go to answer that question to see if I do my best, you know, in these conditions. Matter of fact, speaking of this, any and all donations is greatly appreciated. Especially again, appreciate all the super chats, but definitely when I do live, definitely appreciate the donations that go straight to my Epic Lifestyles PayPal link. Cause super chat be trying to stick me for my paper. All right, let me see. All right, no rewording it, so I'm gonna try one more time. So how do you get rid of all this? I'm not getting it, and it's making my brain hurt. Do you work on anger that was created from trauma? Damn, I could just go off of what I could speak on as far as like you know, like anger created from trauma as a defense. You mean like say for instance if all right, Lil, using me as an analogy, a black person, say for instance, traumatized by somebody may been racist towards me on the way where they did something to me physically, you know, and that what they done to me physically, has from years from that moment it has angered me, for years to come. I don't know. I guess that's what you're trying to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do my best. But I mean, for one, just stepping into a state of forgiving yourself and that person forgiving yourself for if it's something that you're angry at yourself for, forgive yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that you did. It is what it is. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like answering questions when I don't really get what the question is about. Like this is like something I gotta break down. And my hands cold. I apologize. You know, but just something says to speak. Just speaking on forgiveness. You gotta forgive yourself and others. If it's anger that's still plaguing you, realize that now is the vibrate. You're not right now in that moment, and whatever moment it was that aggravated you, again, it no longer exists. We should be in a place, or you should be to a place to understand that all experiences is of things you ask for, you know, from a soulful level on your soul contract, as a part of your growth. So it's just realizations like that help you to not, what I'm saying? Like say for instance, once I realized that, how could I be overly mad at a KKK member who, although they preach hate and try to hang people, it's like, but I fucking signed up to come down in this physical matrix to deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's little understandings like that. I hope I kind of somewhat brushed on it or did, the best I could, you know. But that's basically it, y'all. Heart chakra work, making sure we be in balance in our being, stepping out of, stepping out of those fears, expanding the zone, you know, eliminating those fears, doing that inner work, seeing what's really going on internally, not being afraid to admit that something is going on internally that, because in order to give a proper diagnosis, in order to fix something, you got to acknowledge something is wrong. The new age movement having everybody, oh, just ignore the negativity, this and that, you fuck around and again, just creating another, big ass shadow self, you know, basically. But That's basically it. Again, balancing out the energies, working with that, heart chakra, that Christ consciousness vibe, embodying that divine feminine energy, that Venus, Urzuli, love energy, again, that heart chakra energy, you know, uh, you know, loving yourself, which means, you gotta love yourself in order to love others. You're not able to give somebody a shirt if you ain't got no shirts or you ain't got no shirt on. You gotta have a shirt to be able to give a shirt. And so in order to love somebody, you gotta love yourself in order to be able to give out love. But yeah, if you would have called me earlier, in the game, my hands wouldn't have been so cold, and I've been able to, get it out there. But my mind is on get the fuck out of this cold right now. Like it's almost like, but again, man, peace and blessings every time. Remember, man, the ancestors are here. They walking with us. They're in support of us. Stop being scary. Stop being scared. As I say that, I'm talking to my damn self. You know what I'm saying? I ain't down, but talking to myself. Uh, with that energy. But again, heart chakra balance, peace. I can't even do the peace sign. I almost couldn't even get these. Happy die the vibrator chord. Not too far the future. Not too far the past. Right now. Peace, y'all.